hi. This obviously was not on my planned list of video ideas to make, and I'm very sad to make this in the first place. However, if you have been following my channel for any length of time, this kind of ended up being my thing. Where, as a little tribute, I bake cakes for celebrities that I really were inspired by, cared about, after they have passed away, as a little tribute. And today we're gonna bake a cake for a person that I was insanely devastated about, Richard Simmons.
He really doesn't need an introduction, but just in case you're not familiar, Richard Simmons was this amazing fitness instructor and amazing personality throughout the 80s and 90s.
It's gotten to the point where I've realized, and of course it's been a thing that I've realized subconsciously, the unfortunate thing growing up in the decade I did was I was able to really enjoy a lot of these amazing performers as a child, but they were already adults. And so now that everyone's getting older, now they're all passing away, and it's really saddening that, you know, they're all people that existed on Earth the same time that I did and we did, but they were already halfway through their life when I was born. And thankfully there are some legends that are still alive, and we love that for that. But I didn't expect the news for Richard Simmons to happen. I'm so sad by it because he literally started to post again on social media. I know Pauly Shore kind of brought him out of retirement in a little bit, but he started posting a lot on social media recently, started sharing stories about his life to everyone, and started to be a lot more active again, had a lot of these amazing plans to do a Broadway show and a biopic movie about his life, and I'm so sad he's not going to be able to see any of that come to fruition. And you might be thinking, oh, he's just a little silly exercise motivator author and exercise guru, but dude, like, he was amazing. I love Richard Simmons. I've always loved Richard Simmons. I feel like his personality was so wonderful, and this is the one person that's actually like hitting me so hard. Like, the other ones obviously were really important to me that I've done. The other ones were really great inspirations to me, but this one I'm like, I love just all. So we're gonna make a cake. I'll add one more note, of course. Normally I always like to do it as a celebration for the first birthday they have after they passed, and technically Richard Simmons passed the day after his birthday, so he did get to celebrate his birthday this year, but I just felt like a whole year apart would be way too long as a tribute, and so I didn't want to forget about it. So think of this as a prequel in a way, especially because I had other ideas that I wanted to do to incorporate Richard Simmons videos in a way, thinking that he would still be alive, but I'll talk about those in a little bit. Let's bake a cake.
I ended up grabbing some devil's food cake mix this round because there's some coordination with the devil lurking around New Orleans, and that's where he was from. So I figured to have some fun with this flavor as a tribute to his birthplace. At this point, I've gone through the baking process in every single video I've done on this topic, so let's speed through it this round because the process is always the same. Cake mix, water, 3 eggs, and vegetable oil. Blend it up for a few minutes and pour into the pan. And then bake for a half hour.
Later.
The cake is baked, but that's always the easiest part because you're just putting things together. I can bake a good cake, it'll taste good, but as we've come to know, the icing always is the hardest part. It's my dog, Coda. Coda, you think you're gonna get stuff, but you can't. Especially this cake, you allergic to it. Yeah. Look at that face. He's even sad about Richard Simmons. Anyways, cake, again, it tastes good, but I'm gonna try. I let this cool for a very long time, so it is completely cooled now, and I'm hoping that I can actually do something that will look decent. This time I found blue icing, because I feel like he was known for his blue outfits, his blue sparkly tank tops. I know it's not the only thing he wore, but like when you think of Richard Simmons, that's the outfit you think of. So it's Galaxy Funfetti, because like so I know that I've gotten Funfetti. He would love a Funfetti cake, I'm sure, but because I did Funfetti for Pee Wee Herman, who also is such an incredible, fun personality, I figured Devil's Food, New Orleans, that's his hometown, it's still a connection, and we'll make the cake fun on the outside. So we got blue Funfetti icing, and it has these cute little sprinkles that are all stars and moon, which is adorable on its own, and I love that. So we got these little, oh yeah, rocket ships too are in here, which is interesting because it's Galaxy. So we got this, and then I also have some shimmer sugar gold and silver sprinkles, because obviously it's Richard Simmons, you have to be glittery, you have to bring the shimmer on. I'm gonna see what we can do to just make this cute. So the one problem that I have realized with these cakes is the way I bake them in a pan. They're never flat, but I don't want to mess it up already. That's always, I think it's partly the cake mix, because I flip it over and this is a flat top, of course, but you can see it's very lopsided. But we're gonna put some icing in between. We're gonna see if we can make this nice. So this is a lot darker than I expected, but it kind of matches. We'll make it work.
My intention was to put a light layer of icing between the two layers. I feel like that's a basic cake making vibe.
I could already tell you that flipping it, trying to have the bottom as the top was not working out, so I flipped it back. So what we're having work with, I didn't want to cut the top because last time I tried to cut the top and it still didn't work out, but I really feel like it's the fact that I'm getting this cheap cake mix and store-bought frosting and cake mix that never works out. I'm not working on a professional level here. It's a thought that counts. That's what we're going with. One day, hopefully I'll actually make a good looking cake, but we're not done yet. Let's see what I can do with the top.
Finally, it was time to start icing this cake, and I still don't know how to ice. I don't know if it is the type of icing I'm using or if I'm doing a technique wrong, but I tried to decorate with some sprinkles, and honestly, I feel like they were placed in cute little spots.
Again, by now, I know that I don't know how to ice cakes, but I went simple. I really didn't know what kind of design to do for this, but here's my vision, okay? Well, here's our cake, all right? There we go, lots of spray. Oh, I did not ice this tight at all. I didn't want to mess it up too much, but okay, I think this is pretty decent for, you know, my lack of cake skills. So it's blue in honor of him, and I feel like, you know, adding in the sparkles. So lots of stars and lots of moons, because he was his own star. We know that, and like genuinely out of this world, wonderful. But what I tried to do, I tried to make a butterfly. So this in the middle is a butterfly, because one workout tape. This is like legit, okay? I was like, yeah, I associate butterflies with Richard Simmons because like it's all about transformation and like becoming your best self and the metamorphosis, and he talks about that a lot within the workout videos, because I do his workout videos so often, genuine. That's why I'm like, I'm devastated by this. And he always does the butterfly moves, so I wanted to incorporate the butterfly for him.
Butterflies end like a butterfly, fly free.
So this is what we're working with. I know. Hey, it looks better than Pee-wee's. That was a disaster. So this is our cake. Honestly, this is better than some of the other ones I've made. I didn't want to do too much. I didn't want to ruin it too much, and it's definitely not great. But again, it's the thought that counts. I like genuinely just wanted to do something quickly, because again, this is so unexpected. Normally when I do find out about a death, because I like to do a tribute for their birthday, there's a lot more time to plan it out. And since he literally died this week, it was very quick. And like I said before, I think of this as a little prequel, because this is someone that like I genuinely had so much admiration and respect for. Like his personality was wonderful. I'm so sad I never got to meet him. It's so weird actually crying over someone that you don't know personally, but that's like his personality. I loved watching all the performances on TV, his going on live TV on all the talk shows. Like, they were literally some of my favorite videos to watch over and over again.
So in this one I put... It's not a go-go cart, it's a steamer. Okay, in this one...
A go-go cart. A go-go cart. I just never heard that expression. Go-go kart.
Anyway, here's my steamer.
Going on Whose Line Is It Anyway, and just having such a fun time. His personality shone through and his aura was amazing. I'm not crying over Richard Simmons. He just genuinely cared so much about helping people. It definitely is a loss, and I feel like he was so underrated, not always understood, but the people that understood him got him. And it's so many feelings, because part of the feelings come from being too young to be able to really appreciate him as he was, because he was most known in the 80s and the 90s. So I was a child. Plus, when he was doing all his workout courses, like, I would have loved to have taken a workout class with him. And that's something that I'm so sad that I'll never get to. I am serious. I do his workouts all the time. They're easy and they're fun, and it's just a great way to move. And as previously mentioned, I had bigger plans, like genuinely one of my ideas this year, because if you have followed, I have started to do weird workouts, and because this is a plug too, but because I'm actually really proud of that work too, I'll also say link in the description for the two I've done, because they are related, even though this is a tribute video and it's a genuine tribute video. So I don't want to focus on selling my content in a way, but I've done a couple of the weird workouts because I love the old tapes from the 80s and 90s, and anything obscure I genuinely love. And so of course Richard Simmons, I thought about featuring him, but then it is something I do so often as a normal thing that I'm like, nope, let me do this as its own content, as its own video. And I'll share this now to look forward to in the future. I wanted to go through and actually do all of his videos and review and rate them, to put them through a tier list, but also just work out Richard Simmons for a month. And I didn't have the time to fit it in this year, so it got pushed back to next year. And then of course, find out he died. And I'm like, okay, not that he would have seen them anyways, but you know, there's a difference between doing it to be able to be like, okay, cool, like it's an honor of him. So it'd be awesome to think about maybe someday he'd be able to watch this and know that like, hey, I'm just another random fan that really appreciates what you did in the world. And now, nope, not gonna happen. I'm still excited to be able to do that in the future. And obviously now that'll have even more meaning. I really hope that, you know, his legacy lives on, genuinely. And I really wish that people took him more seriously, but at least he had such a really great fan base that he knew. So that's the important thing. He still was able to build up a really awesome, amazing community of people who admired and loved what he did. And he was such a wonderful motivator and helped so many people. Like I said, he was such a great person to help people in such a fun way, but a serious way at the same time. And I really hope that the ideas that he still had to share come to the perfect fruition, actually do make it, and are in good hands, so they will treat it with respect and be able to create things that he would have loved. Again, think of this as the beginning of a couple of Richard Simmons adjacent videos from me, because again, didn't expect this to happen. Obviously no one did. Still annoying in an ironic way that he put online saying that he's dying and everyone freaked out, but he's like, nope, I'm not dying, and then boom, he died. Like, come on.
By the way, happy birthday.
Overall, I really appreciate what he did, and I really appreciate all the memories that people have with him and all the wonderful ideology and purpose he put out into the world. Let's go light this cake.
Happy birthday, Richard Simmons. You will truly be missed by many.